In 1993, my mother found out about my sexuality. She was getting calls from some of the members that belonged to the church, and they were calling her, telling her things that they had heard. We were all sitting at the table just talking, and she came out of the room, and she looked at me and she said, "I don't care what you're doing, but you better not do that in my house." I never came out to her because I knew how she felt about it. It actually came out a couple weeks before my mom passed. We were in the process of, taking her back and forth to the hospital. When she went in the hospital that first week, they kept her for a week, kept her for a couple of days, and she told me, "The doctors are going to tell you that I have a mass on my lung." She said, "But it's not a mass." She says, "I have lung cancer." She started preparing us for the worst, and I was at the hospital at least 2 and 3 times in one day. And this particular Saturday, I went to the hospital, and when I walked in the hospital, my mother was sitting up in a bed, but she was not herself. I knew then that something was going on. I was holding her on my chest, holding her head rather on my chest. I leaned her over on my chest. The words that she could get out, I heard, she told me, she said, "Pookie, I love you, and I'm okay." And that was the last time I seen my mother alive. In the midst of preparing for her funeral and everything, I was at the house with my aunt. She called me in the bedroom and she said, "Your mom and I, we talked about it, and your mother knew." I said, "I know. I can tell she knew." And I knew that and I told my auntie, I said, "I knew when I was holding her that she was okay." And she said, "Yeah." She told me the same thing. "She's gonna always love you, and don't you ever think anything different. I don't care what you do and who you do it with. If you're happy, I'm happy." And it felt like God had lifted everything off my shoulders that day. I have just been me since 1993. I have just been me. Don't do closets, none of that. Closets are for clothes. Can't do that.